Can we play the video of what happened in Harborview?
Two unidentified men were gunned down in Bayshore, Harborview, St. Andrews shortly after midday this afternoon. Police say one of them, who tried to escape, was also cornered and killed. Spent shell casings from two different firearms were found on the scene. The police are yet to determine a motive for the killing.
Yes, Jamaica. They say crime is down. However, two men were killed in Harborview. Two of them killed in Harborview. And what is the reality of this? One of the reality of this situation is that a poll was conducted. Can we put up that poll information? Where a Donaldson poll was conducted. And it is saying Jamaica. Let me get the information because I'm being exact tonight. I'm putting up the information just now. 2 persons killed in Harborview. And I want to ask Jamaica tonight, and Jamaicans, how safe are you in Jamaica? How safe are you in Jamaica? How safe are you? I remembered your prime minister, not my prime minister, as I said. Your prime minister. He said, you'll be able to sleep with your windows and doors open. Do you remember that? Who remembers that? But now, Jamaica, we're in a reality. And the reality is simply this. One, a Down Under poll was conducted recently. It says 57% of Jamaicans indicate in the latest Don Anderson poll that they feel less safe than they did 10 years ago. The bigger, more pointed indicator that can be drawn from this finding is that Holiness Administration, first elect 2016, has spent about 7 of those 10 years actively failing its most basic test of governance, keeping Jamaicans safe. Keeping Jamaicans safe. And I want to ask you tonight, your government, your prime minister, promised to make you safe, to make all of you feel safe. And you're going to tell me that at the start of the year, double murders happening here, double murders happening there, and it's just business as usual. I asked you last night, and I'm going to ask you again. If you were in the position to be the security minister, if you were in a position to be security minister, Jamaica, if you were in a position to be security minister, what would you have done differently? I'm going to ask that question again. If you were in the position to be Horace Chang, what would you have done differently? What would you have done differently? I'm going to ask that question again. If you were in the position of Horace Chang and Andrew Holness, what would you have done differently? I'm going to ask again. If you were in the position of Andrew Holness and Horace Chan and the Commissioner of Police, what would you have done differently? And I gave you that task last night, and I'm not sure many persons have an answer to that. But my answer to that is seemingly this. You need a crime plan, a strategic crime plan. I don't know if you remember some time ago that New York was one of the crime capitals of the world. New York was one of the crime capitals of the world. And I can remember Jamaica. If you go and research what New York did, go and research what happened in New York, how they turned around their crime situation. And I am saying to Jamaica tonight, a friend of mine told me about the Philippine situation and how Philippines turned around their crime. If you look at El Salvador similarly has a crime pandemic. And over the past 10 to 15 years, El Salvador solved their crime situation. I am saying to you tonight, Jamaica, if you were in the position of Andrew Holness, if you were in the position of Andrew Michael Holness and Horace Chan tonight, what would you have done differently? What would you have done differently, Jamaica? If I were in that position, I would have increased access to housing. One of the situations we have in a lot of these communities that we have poverty and we have poor housing conditions. Zinc fence. And with a lot of zinc fence, a lot of crimes are committed. I would demolish the zinc fences and put up proper housing solutions. I saw today the Prime Minister said over the next year, 2024, can we put up that producer? He will be putting in 500 housing. What is 500 housing solutions? 500. What is 500 housing solutions, Andrew?